Hello everybody and welcome to Sin City Living. My name is Jason. I'll be bringing you today's episode. As always, we want to thank all of our fans, our sponsors, our patrons. We appreciate all of your guys' support. Everyone that's bought us a cup of coffee, been greatly appreciated. We've had a rough couple of weeks here in the family, been out of work for a week and a half, coming up on 2 weeks, thanks to our old friend COVID running through us. I don't want to take up a whole lot of time with the usual spiel, so all of you guys that are interested in what's going on with Sin City Living and what we plan on doing in the future with our live streams and upcoming events, please stick around to the end of the video or skip to the end of the video and watch. I will put most of that stuff in the ending spiel, and I will try and update it every week or two with more news. Otherwise, that being said, we're just going to go ahead and jump straight into today's video. And for today, I want to go over a system that was emailed to me from one of our viewers. It doesn't really have a name to it. We'll figure something out as we go along, I think. So their idea behind this system is that within about 6 hits or so, they double all of their place bets. This is a place bet based system like most systems are. It's the best way to play in dice. And the way they are going to work it is they're going to go 160 across. So they're going to get all the numbers, and they're going to work them. So on the come-out roll, all of these bets are going to be working. So they will win if anything rolls. They will, of course, lose if a 7 rolls. So since these are all working, we're actually not going to worry about the puck today. We're just going to go with what's going to happen with these bets as they roll. So the way they want to work it is if a 4 or a 10 rolls, so let's say a 10 rolls, the player wants to throw in $1, and instead of pressing the 4 and 10, what they actually want to press is the 5 and 9. Okay? And I can see the reasoning behind this. The 4 and 10 are less likely to roll, so they want to funnel their money onto the inside to the numbers that are most likely to roll from here on out, so that they can try and make more money from the get-go. Okay? Now, if one of the inside numbers were to have rolled, the 5, 6, 8, or 9, as in rolling first, they want to, what their plan is it will pay 36. Once again, they're going to throw in that $1, okay? And this time they're going to press, oh no, I'm sorry, they're not going to throw in the $1. Oh yes, my fault. I'm losing my mind. So they will throw in the $1, and what they're going to do now is they're going to press their 6 and 8. Okay, so that's $36 right there, which means they can press these 18 each or go to 48. They're going to go to 48 on each one of these. So if one of the inside numbers rolls, they're going to throw in $1 and they're going to press up their 6 and 8. If the 4 or the 10 rolls, they're going to press their 5 and 9. Now, moving forward from here, so we'll just assume that 2 rolls have happened. We've had a 10 roll, and then let's say we had an 8 roll. That way we're at these presses. So they've had 2 rolls so far. Okay? Regardless of what rolls next, as long as it's one of the inside numbers, one of these 4 numbers, regardless of what rolls, they're going to press these numbers up to 60 each. Okay? So let's say a 5 rolls. Well, the 5 pays $70. Now, in order to press these up, they need $24. So what they're going to do is get paid this way. And that's going to turn both of these into 60 apiece, and they're going to collect some. So that would be their third, that would be 3 rolls in. If a 4 or a 10 were to roll, they would once again throw in $1, and this time they would press it up to $50 each. Now, if you look at this, they have doubled all of their bets. They have gone from 270, or from 160 up to 320, including, right? Because, if there were a point. But since they're always working, it's independent of whether or not this puck is marked. Since these bets are always working, it does not matter whether or not there's a point. Every roll is going to affect these bets. Four hits, and they doubled all of their bets. I got to admit, I kind of like this strategy. I really do. As we all know, I like to push things a lot faster, push the pace a lot quicker and a lot harder. But this is not this is really not a bad strategy at all. It's got a lot of potential to it, and you can modify it based on how things roll. You know, if initially the 4 and 10 were to roll, and they press the 5 and 9, which I like. Now, if either the 5 or the 9 rolls, you could on your second bet immediately, since you're getting paid $70, you could use 60 of it and immediately take these two numbers from 30 up to 60. And then after 2 rolls, you're already here. Then all you're waiting on is something to roll to press one of these up. That wouldn't even matter what rolls. So theoretically, you can double your entire place bets in 3 rolls. Yeah, and I like this. I like this strategy quite a bit. It's a good one because it's pressing up your bets, and it's also not a difficult strategy. It's not going to slow the game down. We see a lot of that with slowing the game down. Some popular strategies that I've seen lately start doing things like every time a number hits, they press 27 across or 26 across, depending on what the point is. That slows the game down. It's also mind-numbingly annoying to deal, and it makes every other player just sit there staring while we're setting up this across pressure. And it gets even worse once we get into green, because I see these players that'll be at 130, 135 across, and they'll press up 26, 27 across, and that forces the dealer to that. When it's at 130, 135, it's really easy, but once it's up beyond that, one or two of their presses, it's forcing the dealer to sit there, pick up chips, put chips down, place them back down, because we're dealing with multiple colors with these two numbers, and it really, really, really slows the game down. Also, then it makes these payouts, actually all the payouts, start becoming 3 and 4 color payouts, and what that does is it also slows the game down to a drag, and it's going to make every player just sit there staring. Which is why oftentimes once people hit the green, when they're at 130, 135 across, or 160 across like this player starts out, including the point, they start treating the green as a unit. Instead of pressing one unit, which would be, say, take your 9 from 25 to 30, people tend to take their 9 from 25 to 50, and then from 50 to 75. They start looking at the units of green as one unit. This bet, aside from the initial press over here from 30 to 48, it's honestly not a bad press at all. This strategy, it presses the numbers at an easy, swift way of pressing them to good numbers that pay out well, common bets that pay out quickly, and things that the dealers see fairly often, so that it's not going to slow the game down. With a lot of the oddball presses, it's not that they are difficult. They're not going to throw the dealers off, or the dealer sucks if they can't do this basic press. What it is if it's not a press that we see 100 times a day, if it's instead a press that we see once a month, it's not within our muscle memory. We don't instantly just start setting it up because we've seen it so much. No, we have to stop and think, okay, it's got this much, we need to have this much, so it's paying this much, this is going to be the change, and then we have to hand it off. We have to do all those calculations that we already have in our heads with some of the other more common presses. So this one is really easy. The only tricky one is the 30 going to 48 each. 30 on the 6, 30 on the 8 going to 48 each. That's not something we see very often. But when it's getting paid $35 and the player throws in $1, instead of saying go to 48 each on the 6 and 8, there's nothing wrong with saying that. But instead of saying that, if you tell the dealer, press me 18 each on the 6 and 8, it's going to click in their head a lot faster, because they're going to see the $36 in front of them, go 18 each, yep, boom, done. Otherwise, you say, take my 6 and 8 to 48, the dealer, because they don't see this very often, is going to stop. They're going to look. They're going to, okay, we're at 30, that means we got to go to 48, which means we got to go 18 more each, which means we need 36. Okay, yeah, you got everything, the math checks out. It's still doable, it's still easy, but the verbiage will make it a lot easier for the dealers. But outside of that initial press, everything else is really easy, really fast, and I like how fast this goes up into a decent bet. So overall, this is a pretty enjoyable strategy. The player says they try and double all their bets within 6 hits. I can see maximum speed. I can see where these will double up within 3 hits, sometimes 4 hits. Definitely by the 6th hit, you've double up, and you've probably collected once or twice. Because from this point right here, do what you wish. Do you want to collect? Do you want to continue pressing? Do you want to go to a power press? What do you want to do? If it were me personally, I would probably do some little minor, smaller presses instead of power pressing. Since this isn't a power press type of strategy, but more of a double up and then start making money, I would probably, the next time the 5 hit, I would probably take it up to 75. And the next time the 8 or a 6 or an 8 hit, I would probably take it up to 90. If a 4 or 10 were to hit, I'd probably take those up to 100. They're not super likely to hit, so maybe you could take them up to 75. I see that one all the time. 75 will pay you 146, so it's still not a bad payout at all. There's certainly nothing wrong with pulling almost 150 bucks. Depending on where I'm at in my bankroll, I'd either take them to 100 or take them to 75. But all of these, I would probably start pressing them a little bit. Yes, if the 5 hit, I could throw in $5 and take it straight up to 125. Absolutely, I could do that. But at this point, I've already thrown in a couple of dollars, and I have collected a small amount. And this strategy is more designed to start taking a little bit of money. So I probably wouldn't just keep throwing my money in to get these up and hope we hit that super long roll, which is what most strategies are designed to catch. I might start collecting a little bit. This seems more of a fun strategy. You still need a decent bankroll. 160 across is going to eat into your bankroll relatively quickly. But if you've got a couple grand to start with, you could probably play this strategy for hours without a problem. And if you can play for hours, you have a decent chance of catching a 12 to 15 minute roll. And a 12 to 15 minute roll is going to make some money on a strategy like this. You know, go from 60 to 90, from 90 to 120, or from 90 to 150. Depends how confident you are. Maybe you're already up on your bankroll, so you say, you know what, I'm going to leave soon. I'm just going to go for it. So I would go from 60 to 90, and then 90 to 150. Over here, I would go from 50 to 75, and then from 75, most likely to 125, possibly 150, but most likely to 125. From here, I would probably go from 50 to 100. You could go from 50 to 75. There's nothing wrong with that. But either way, from 100 or from 75, I would then go up to 150, and then from there 300, then 600. Then I would just start doubling my bets because you're still pulling back a very decent amount of money. So yeah, this is a fun strategy. I like this strategy. I like this strategy a lot. This would be a fantastic strategy if you have a $1,500 to $2,000 bankroll and you don't necessarily want to go for it, but you want to be able to make a decent profit should you happen to catch that hot roll. This obviously will not make the same amount of profit as, say, the power press method. Might with the mid press method that I like to do. It'll come pretty close. So this is definitely one of the more aggressive strategies that I have seen. Makes a lot of sense. Fairly easy for the dealers to do. It won't slow the game down. Keeps the pace of the game going. This is an excellent strategy. Very, very good strategy. Definitely like it. I would definitely play this strategy for sure. So I hope everybody enjoys this strategy. Hope everybody enjoys this video. Obviously, this takes a little bit more money to play, so it's not going to be for everybody. And please hit the like and subscribe buttons, everybody, and we will catch you next time. Thanks. Okay, everybody, and as promised, all the usual blah blah that I try and do at the beginning of the video, we're going to go ahead and put near the end of the video. And here we go. So thank you, everybody, for your usual patronage. All of you that are patrons of ours, we very, very much appreciate it. Thank you, everybody who's been buying us a cup of coffee. Love to say that it's going to coffee right now, but this month with the entire family out for COVID, it's honestly going to Bill's and probably the kid's birthday in a week. But we definitely appreciate it. We're going to continue working on these live streams. I know you guys have seen some of them popping up. Just got to figure out the look of it, and some of the audio is still giving me issues, but hopefully we'll be getting those live streams and the craps tournaments going as soon as possible. Really just going to depend on scheduling. My schedule changed, Amy's schedule changed, kids' school schedule is fun. So once we figure out exactly how all those schedules are going to work, we'll let everybody know. And otherwise, please continue emailing us with anything you would like to see videoed. And again, thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate every single one of you guys. We'll catch you next time.